Jessie Unterhalter.
And I am Katey Trude.
And we're artists from Baltimore working here at the
Turchin Center. Thanks for having us, App State.
Woohoo! We met in college at the Maryland Institute College of Art.
We hit it off. We became best friends in college, and we made a lot of work alongside each other. We didn't really collaborate then, but we were like really into exploring the city together, and like we would just collect junk and make work out of the stuff we found and the people we met. So we were kind of connected to like the public aspect of art making together. And I feel like it wasn't till 10 years ago, maybe. I don't even remember when we started.
2011, I think.
Yeah,
we both had jobs that were art related, but not doing public art, and we both decided to apply for a city mural, and then we just spent the summer applying to open calls, and we got one, and then we decided to kind of take it from there.
Yeah, it just felt like a good transition time. I guess this is the second staircase mural that we've done, and the first one was in Knoxville, and we looked to Appalachian weavings for that first inspiration, so it's close to the area, and so we kind of, it is our style, but it's like our work is always adapted to the area that we're painting on and the surface and the architecture. So this work like may look different than our flat wall work, but it is it's just taken from textiles pretty much. We thought of this like a loom with like the stripes that come down as like, what do they call that? The weft or something? But yeah, but yeah. So we think about textiles a lot.
You know, we're not so much taking from the place as we are from like the surface we're painting on. We're really inspired by architecture and just surfaces in general. So if there's something like unique or like there's interesting lines that are coming off buildings, that's what we're really drawn to.
Yeah, I feel like we're strongly obsessed with design, and that is the end of the day. We just like really want a design that's gonna enhance the space and pop and cause like a commotion in the space, I guess, so that people are drawn to it. Most murals will be talking with a client for maybe a year, like 8 months to a year before we actually start painting. And often we just need to know as much about the environment as we can if we can't visit it. So with these gals, we got so many pictures, we had some conference calls, and they took meticulous measurements of each step for us so that we could do mock-ups. And we made some before we came, but we've started to feel more and more that we want to do more of our design process once we get on site, because you can be like, the context really changes being in a space. So we actually designed this once we got here.
This one's like a little different from how we normally work, just because it's hard to mock up steps, but normally we're working on graph paper, and we usually we make the dimensions of the building or whatever surface we're gonna paint to scale, and then we just draw, and we just pass the paper back and forth, so we're both adding to the design. But you can't really tell that two people have designed it, because at this point we have like the same vision. And then after that we put it on the computer and add colors and like put in the space, and then it gets approved and we come.
I kind of just wanted to add something, because I was thinking about this. We were talking about it the other day, that every piece we make, we sort of look at it like it's a puzzle, and we have this language we've created together where one person puts a line down and the next person plays off that, and then it becomes this puzzle that we're trying to like fit together. And we know we have these rules that we've created, and it's like interesting. We know when something works and when it doesn't work, and it's fun because we know like what's right and wrong once we start that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's such a funny process, because you're going like analog, digital, and then like really large scale analog. It's just hard to be like, how did I get here? You know? It's a funny process, but it works for us.
I guess most of our work is geometric, so we don't usually lay a grid down. We just sort of like find points to start, like, oh, we know, this line starts 5 feet in. Once we put that in, all the other shapes sort of bounce off of it.
And this one was funny. we basically made graph paper on these steps. We just brought like so many lines all the way down and then played off those, which was kind of a challenge. I think we maybe would approach it differently next time, but yeah, because that like really locked us in. But it was interesting because we just were like, we just made giant graph paper now.
I know,
Yeah.
which we never do, but
Yeah.
it is helpful. Only we measured it wrong, so the graph paper was like a little off. So then we just created so many more problems.
I know,
for
it's so
ourselves.
funny. We like didn't start for like a week and everyone's like, how's it going? We're like, math. We're just like trying to figure out the math.
But we were just trying to figure out how we could not erase the wrong lines we put in already.
Yeah.
Our backs hurt.
Yeah.
So, but we figured it out. I feel like there's just so much to take from translating a small design large onto the wall that like just that process, you are doing so much math, and you can see, I guess, how like learning geometry on paper translates to larger things. Then you can look around you and think how it translates to architecture. And I don't know, I feel like it's just so hands-on that it's way more interesting. I guess it's just like a lot of ratios.
Yeah, you're just, like
mostly.
scaling up and then like figuring out, perfect circles or not perfect circles, just like understanding how to make specific shapes, which are all very basic, but then like you might not realize it. You might not be like, oh, that's how that circle was made, or like semicircle or whatever. But
yeah, I feel like it usually happens when we mess up. We're like, okay, why isn't this circle point meeting the edge of this triangle the way it's supposed to? Or so then we have to think like, oh, do we have to add a couple inches or do we subtract or stuff like that?
yeah,
And
and then there's like
lots of problem solving and erasing.
Yeah, and like how do you find the same angle that you drew, and like how do you recreate that?
Being in Boone's been really relaxing. So relaxing that we've overstayed by a week and we've been like running around to hotels and Airbnbs. But yeah, the whole first week we were just like, we're just gonna indulge. This place is really nice. And I think we've just, usually we're like, we try to wrap up projects because we have like a crazy schedule, but we've just been pushing it and staying here as long as possible.
Yeah, it's been so pleasant, and just being around the mountains is such a treat.
Yeah, it's so lovely.
Yeah, I think a lot of the community aspect comes after the work in a way, because we're creating this like abstract thing that's really bright and colorful, and inevitably people are always interacting with it afterward. So I think that's where a lot of the community engagement happens. It's like people do photo shoots, or like wedding photographers come and take photos. It's just, it's like really fun to see the art live on past ourselves. And that's when it's like the community gets to really embrace it.